like, did I just die? Did I just die? So while I'm panicking, I was like, I'm going to hit the ceiling. I'm going to hit the ceiling. And boom, I appeared somewhere. I'm like, where am I? What's going on? The next thing, I felt this presence. I felt this presence, you know, just right there. And something lifted me up to my feet and turned me around. As soon as I looked, I knew it was Jesus.
It gives me goosebumps. I like, oh my God.
That was the first time I ever saw him. And over the course of my lifetime, I've seen him at least 10 times.
Welcome to Kairos TV. Please like and subscribe.
I tell people that I feel like there's something really powerful about finding God in university.
Yeah.
I think like people who hit it when they were like 19, 18, 21, it's always different.
Yeah.
Yes, it's always so.
It's true. Even now, it's true. When you get younger people, they're really sold out.
Yes.
Yeah, sold out.
Yes.
That's all they want.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we chased God with all our strength. And I got ordained in that church when I was, I think, 20 or 21. So we did like the whole pastoral training program. And he trained us and all of that. When I was to be ordained, that was one major turning point in my life.
Yes.
The day of the ordination, after we've called everybody, ordination, bought fine suits, you know, I was so proud of myself.
Yes.
Alas.
Hey, there's an alas. Yo.
And me and my best friend were to get ordained on that day. That's how this man called my best friend up, called everybody else up, but he didn't call me. So this was me, Sister Isi, with my suit that had shoulder pad. You understand? With my spiritual arrogance. Because I was about to ascend to the next level. Yes. So, waiting to be called, and this man did not call me.
What do you mean he didn't call you?
He didn't call me.
Hey.
All my friends had come, family, everybody. I sat there. I thought, you know, my own is going to be more powerful.
Of course, he's waiting. He's giving it a chance.
Exactly.
So that there's a separation.
That's right.
Between levels.
That's right.
Of course.
Yes. So I was waiting, and the service closed. They shared the grace. No Sister Isi coming up for her ordination. I said, so I joined my friends. They were taking pictures. I was forcing a smile. I was like, what happened? What happened? What happened? I said, no, it's okay.
They're asking you.
Yes, I said, fear did not allow me to ask the man because he's a very strong pastor. Hard man.
You didn't ask anything?
Yes, I didn't know how to ask him.
Yes, you didn't ask anything?
I didn't know how to ask.
What do you mean?
I didn't know how to ask. So later that night, I was crying. I went to my room. Shame wanted to kill me. I cried. I was like, what is the meaning of this? And then later that evening, he came with the assistant pastor. Looked. And when I opened, he said, what have you been doing? I said, sir, nothing. You've been crying. This is the reason why you were not ordained. I said, how? He said, your arrogance, your pride. He said, you consider it a thing of promotion instead of service. You consider it a thing of this instead of that. I sat down. In my mind, I said, but it's promotion now. How is it not promotion? This man finished me. And he said that, you know, he listened to the conversation I was having the day before with a friend about my ordination. And that as he listened to me, all he could hear was pride, you know. And he said, this one is not ready. He said, you need to go on a fast. I think he put me on 30-day or 40-day fast. He said, you need to crucify your flesh.
Crucify the flesh?
Yes. He said, you are gifted, you are anointed, you are talented.
But pride.
He said, but you need to die.
Hey.
Bishop.
Hey.
That thing killed me.
Hey. Hey. See God.
So,
see how God operates.
As at that time, I thought this is a wicked man. I thought this man is from the pit. I was like, I'm leaving this church. Nonsense. How can you disgrace me like this? My family members were calling me, how far did your ordination go? All my friends, I had to start calling my friends pastor. Meanwhile, I was like, no. And honestly, I was gifted, you know. And I thought, if anybody should be ordained,
It's you.
I should be ordained.
The others should follow.
You know?
Yes.
But he was right. So I started fasting, praying.
Hey, you followed the instruction.
I followed.
So you were not angry at him and tell me there are many people who can ordain people.
No.
Hey.
I couldn't. I stayed and I was fasting the fast, but I was so ashamed. I was so heartbroken. But in my heart, I didn't think I was proud. You know, I was like, what is this die to self? You know, what is this thing? I was like, so is there nothing wrong with enjoying the fact that, you know, something good was about to happen?
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
I cried. And one of those nights, I stayed up all night. I was reading the Bible. I said, God, you will show me this thing. It must be inside your word.
You will show me.
I said, show me.
Yeah.
What am I missing? I brought out my concordance. I brought out my Dake's Bible. Brought my journals. I would write. I was looking for how Jesus chose his disciples. What were the instructions he gave? I said, blessed are the poor in spirit. I was like, what does it mean to be poor, Lord? I prayed. And around 7 a.m., I was praying. And I was so tired. And I put my head on my concordance. While I was praying, I was like, Lord Jesus, please tell me what I need to know. And as soon as I put my head on my concordance, I started feeling light. I was like, what is this feeling? Why am I feeling light? And I opened my eyes. And I was on the ceiling.
What do you mean?
Yes. I looked and I saw my body on the bed. I was like, wait a minute. Did I just die? Did I just die? Because I'm looking at me with my head on my concordance while I am all the way up. And I was like, did I just die? Did I just die? So while I'm panicking, I was like, I'm going to hit the ceiling. I'm going to hit the ceiling. And boom, I appeared somewhere else again. This time I'm on this field. It's a huge field. And then there are people lined up on the field. Thousands upon thousands of people. And everybody's working. So some people had pickaxes, some people had hoe, some people had shovel, but everybody was working. They were working quickly. And I'm like, what's going on? Where am I? And the next thing, boom, I'm just joined to the queue. And the next thing, more people are coming and they are being joined after me. And as soon as I'm joined to the queue, I was given like this instrument, agricultural instrument, and I started using it and I'm digging. I was like, so I looked at the man beside me. I was like, sir, where are we? This man did not answer me. He was just doing his work. You know, I was like, okay, what are we doing here? He kept facing his work. So while that's happening, I looked up and I noticed that the sky started twirling, the clouds. And I was like, what's going on? So I told him, I was like, sir, can you look at the clouds? This man did not answer me. I want to meet him when I get to heaven. The man did not answer me at all. And I looked at the clouds again. The next thing I saw lights entering the clouds. I was like, where are these lights shooting out from? And I looked and it was people on the fields. They were turning to lights and they were shooting into the clouds. And I was like, oh my God, this is rapture. I was like, they are being taken to heaven, you know. So I looked at him, I said, sir, they are going. We are still here, they are going. While I said they are going, boom, he turned into a light and he was taking, I said, my own is finished.
Yeah.
I first of all left my body somewhere. I'm here now, they are not taking me. You know. So while I was there, I was like, Lord, please don't leave me. The next thing, boom, I felt myself ascending. And then I entered into the clouds. And the clouds, I remember falling all fours, my hands on the ground, my knees kneeling down position. But the clouds underneath me were solid. And I'm in that position. I'm like, where am I? What's going on? The next thing I felt this presence. I felt this presence, you know, just right there. And something lifted me up to my feet and turned me around. As soon as I looked, I knew it was Jesus. And I was like, Jesus, Jesus. And it was as though the person had known since I was a child. He was right there standing in front of me. People are like, and that was like, now started a series of encounters I've had throughout my life. Wow. That was the first time I ever saw him. And over the course of my lifetime, I've seen him at least 10 times. Which now I realize is part of the marks of the apostolic, because an apostle needs to be a witness of Christ. You need to have witnessed Jesus, you know. So I stood and I was like, Jesus, Jesus. And he just smiled, and he did this. I can't remember using my leg to run, but I know I ran to him and I fell into his arms. And as I fell into his arms, what did I start doing? I started reporting everybody. Yeah? I said, Jesus, you'll not believe what they've been doing to me. I said, Jesus, you don't believe what they've done. I said, this man did not ordain me. He was supposed to ordain me. After I said, disgrace me. I said, look at now. I started reporting.
Oh my God.
He just pulled me away from himself. He looked at me like, this is my child. He looked at me, and
oh my God.
he gave me a kiss on my forehead. He gave me a kiss on my forehead.
Yeah.
As he gave me the kiss on my forehead, I just melted. I said, Lord, you see, this is the reason why I want to stay with you. Only you are worthy. Only. And then he smiled. He looked at me again. Like,
it is well.
like, what? You don't know anything.
Yes.
And then he shook his head. He shook his head and smiled. And he held my shoulders and started turning me around. And I was like, no, don't turn me around, don't turn me around.
Yeah.
I want to tell you something. I want to stay. He just turned me around and bam, hit my back. And as soon as he tapped my back, I got off from my bed. And I saw my roommate sitting and looking at me like this. And I said, I saw him. I was shaking and I was crying. I was like, I saw him. She was like, you saw who? She said, I came here because I wanted to wake you up. She said, Isi, it is 4 p.m. You've been on this same position since 7 a.m. I was afraid that something had happened to you. I was like, no, it can't be 4 p.m. And that's also when I understood that, how 1,000 years to us is a day to the Lord. So 7-10 hours to us, for me, was a 5-minute encounter.
With God.
And she was like, who did you see? I was like, I saw Jesus. And I was weeping. But that encounter solidified the knowledge of the fact.
It gives me goosebumps. I like, oh my gosh.
Oh no, I've had crazy encounters, Bishop. Crazy encounters. And most times I don't share them because it's just like, what do you do with that? But that encounter solidified the knowledge of the fact that I'm called by God. I woke up feeling chosen. I woke up feeling like he knows me. And so ordination didn't matter. I then realized that it's God that ordains. Men only bear witness to God's ordination. I didn't feel like I needed it anymore. I was just like, I've met the master. I've met your master's master. So.
Wow. So it didn't matter anymore.
It didn't matter.
You weren't in pain. You weren't crying anymore. It's okay.
I was just like, I'm fine.
You don't have to.
I'm just going to serve him. And it left me craving for that atmosphere of love, of like just the perfection of his goodness, just the acceptance. I wanted to be in that presence again and again and again. So I would do the same thing I did again and again and again. I'll just stay with the word for hours, hoping that it will happen. And it didn't happen like that again. It took years. But it just cultivated a hunger for the person of Jesus.
So did you now see what the man of God was saying?
Oh yeah, I did.
That he was actually right to not ordain you because he didn't want you to walk in pride.
Yes.
As an ordained minister.
Yes. And that pride was coming from, how the flesh makes you think like you're justified by works. So there was a part of me that felt like I should be.
I do so much.
Yes, I've been leading prayer meetings. I've been this.
I'm a leader.
I knew Bible studies. I was an orator. I was a this, and...
It's me they asked to speak at all times.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I was being saved from something. I was being saved from that which endangers people in ministry, where you feel like the validation of your service is in the acceptance of men.
Hey.
I was being saved from that. And so very early, God was delivering me from that deception.
Yeah.
And telling me that, Isi, you are accepted because I accepted you. So even if 1,000 people tell you are not called, if you can see me, feel me, touch me, hear me, be satisfied with my presence, not with the need to prove yourself. So it killed on the inside of me that drama and that whole thing in ministry where you like have to do this for people to know I'm powerful.
People to see you.
So I'm like, no, my greatest power is being able to see Jesus.
Hey.
That became my greatest power.
That brings tears to my
So till today I'm like, if I can't see Jesus, if I can't feel Jesus, it doesn't matter who I'm sitting before. It doesn't matter who calls me. It doesn't even matter. I just feel like it's like sawdust in my mouth. Yeah. I'm just like...
It's about Jesus.
It's about Jesus. It's about Jesus.
So it introduced you to another level of who you are in God.
Who I was in God, yeah. Introduced me to a new level.
Wow. So how long did you stay in Ghana? Did you now
I was in Ghana for 5 years, 5.5, 6 years. So there I started churches, I started fellowship, then I started to train pastors.
In Ghana?
Yes.
Oh.
So I then became the resident pastor of that church eventually, and then I had to do like...
Where you were not ordained?
Yes. So finally ordained. I was then finally ordained by him like months later, and, it was so powerful. Many of the prophecies they gave to me are prophecies I'm still working in right now. And I then started like to teach, train, raise pastors. I started to host like camp meetings where I would bring people from the Nigerian church and bring them to Ghana, So that's when I started learning how to do like international work in coordinating things across borders and planning across nations, logistics and all.